to the Sideline. My name is Rishi,
My name is Asher Hire.
and we got a lot to talk about. One thing to address. Our last episode, for whatever reason, only is like 20 minutes long and it ends really abruptly. That was not supposed to happen. Um, I don't know what happened.
No
I have to check that when we edit them again. But
technology.
yeah, apology for that. We had a very good discussion in the NFL on that, so hopefully I'll just put that second half out or something. I don't know,
hmm
but yeah, sorry about that. But we got some more NBA talk, got some more NFL talk. A lot of stuff in the NFL, really. A lot of changes.
Dude, I mean, we'll get into it. I don't know why.
Yeah, but we're gonna start off with the NBA. There was a pretty big game today in terms of like hierarchies in the early NBA season. Warriors versus Nets. Both teams relatively healthy, and I mean the Warriors blew the tires off of the Nets. Like it was, I wasn't able to watch the game, but like I was keeping track of it, and like I mean, it was crazy. Like the Warriors bench is
Very good.
really good,
hmm
and when they get Clay back and they're able to put Jordan Poole to the bench, and once they start to get Jonathan Kuminga more, uh, like acclimated to the NBA pace and NBA speed and everything like that, that team is going to be insane.
Yeah, Kaminga, I watched some of this game, like most of the first half. I didn't watch any of the second half. Kaminga's got a lot of energy um
Mm-hmm.
and like power and everything. He just needs to channel that in like the right direction.
Yeah,
Like sometimes it hurts him, but you can see like he really cares and he's got ton of bounce, ton of energy.
yeah.
And once he figures that out, once he gets more experience, yeah, he looks good.
No, I agree. I watched a lot of his. I watched a lot of the game they played against the Hornets. I think on Monday. And I mean, he's just everywhere. Like defensively, I mean, he's everywhere. Um, and it's crazy. Like he's very athletic, and even in the G League, like you were able to see that he has a lot of scoring potential. Doesn't really have a jump shot yet, but he has a decent handle for his size. He's ridiculously athletic. He can jump out of the gym. But like his defensive potential just right now
Yeah.
is super high, and it's going to help the Warriors in the short term, like immediately. And you're not going to get that for a playoff team because they got him at what 7th pick, 14th pick.
hmm
So they're going to be really good.
Yeah, I think they are legit, and it kind of pains me to say that, but they are. I mean, even without Klay Thompson, and I think this defense is legit too. Like people are saying, like, and I mean, it makes sense if you just look up and down the roster. Like you don't see any really amazing defenders,
Yeah,
just
besides
based off,
Draymond,
yeah,
like
and maybe like Iguodala and Wiggins at times. Um, yeah, just based off name value. But I think Draymond is just amazing on defense. He completely carries that defense, and I think he's what makes it completely legit.
yeah,
Just his strength. He doesn't get moved by big men. His arms are incredibly long. He jumps out to help on help defense and everything. The Warriors put him on Kevin Durant first to start out, which I don't think is the best move
Mhm.
because he's so good as a help defender. They were missing that to start out the game, and then they transitioned into a zone, um, and that really worked out for them. That zone scheme they were running was insane. And yeah, back to Draymond. I just think he's like we keep comparing these players to Jokic, and I mean, um,
It's very easy to do it.
it is,
Like
yeah.
Jokic is just he has so many ways to compare him to because he's just so good.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Jokic is doing on offense that Draymond can do on defense. Like Draymond can make guys like he can have like Damian Lee, Otto Porter Jr., Nemanja Bjelica, and Steph Curry out there, and he'll make that whole squad a great defense. The same way Jokic can make an offense composed of Austin Rivers and Jeff Green an amazing offense.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I think Draymond. I think in the last 2 seasons he's become very underrated.
for
Because
sure.
in 2019 and 2020, that year when Steph got hurt and Clay was still rehabbing from his ACL injury, it was just him out there, and like Obviously, that's not going to work because that's just not the type of player he is. He's not the guy who's going to be able to carry an offense by himself. He's not a scorer. He's not a guy who you can just run ISOs through. He's a guy who's going to elevate other people because of his playmaking ability. And defensively, he's just like the ultimate anchor. When you think of defensive anchor, Draymond Green should be the first guy that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And it's insane. He covers up other people's rotation mess ups. He holds together the defense on the middle. Like you said, he's a phenomenal help defender. So even if if you get beaten by a guy off the dribble, he's right there to cover up for you. And then you just have to go, boom, cover up his man.
And he's an amazing rim protector, even at 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah. He's
wild.
Incredible. I think he has become underrated after being overrated for a little bit. Like, I think that he is underrated now because like he does so many little things that you have to watch a complete game to actually understand. And you have to like watch the Warriors to actually understand what he does.
He's so important to
like he's the glue of that entire team. And it is like with Jokic, right? Like when you look at Jokic, it doesn't make sense how the offense runs very well if you don't watch
exactly
the games. Like it doesn't make sense, right? But when you watch the games and you get a feel for how the Warriors play through him, especially, it's just insane.
And the other thing I was going to say about the Warriors defense is I think Curry gained some weight. He gained some muscle and he gained some weight. I think he's harder to move on defense than he has been in the past.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's got the highest defensive rating for a guard.
He's up there. He's up there.
And obviously that's as we said, like about
a little flawed,
like Draymond, but still I think he's played great defense. And there
was a possession today where he was on James Harden that I saw. He played him like perfect.
Yeah,
like, absolutely perfect. He had his hands out. He didn't reach in. He was sliding his feet well. If James Harden bumped into him, he wasn't moving him like he said because of the extra muscle that he gained. He's had a lot of time. Like he doesn't need to work on his game at all. Like he could play the same way that he has for the last 10 years and still be very good right now. The only thing he had to work on was just getting his body more in shape to compete. And that's exactly what he did because they missed the playoffs the last 2 years because there was that long hiatus with the bubble and stuff like that. And he's been able to just work on his body. And like, I don't want to say he's underrated right now because I think he's very properly rated. Like he's incredible, but I think historically the little things that he does are going to be very, very underrated. Like his off-ball movement on offense is just, it's insane. He never stopped moving.
Yeah, people are just going to talk about, he's the greatest shooter ever.
Yeah,
which he is. But yeah, all the off-ball stuff, the improvements on defense, his quick hand.
They're going to talk about like how good he was, but they're not going to talk about why he was that good.
Yeah,
which I think like a lot of people talk about. Oh, LeBron, he's so good because he's this tall and he's like. He has the IQ of everything. They talk about why he's so good. When you talk about Steph, like, he's the greatest shooter of all time. That's why. But like, there's so much more.
He's got incredible stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just incredible feel for where he's at on the court and how he can make. I mean, it's just wild how many people they send to him to cover him at the 3-point line, and he still manages to get off like 15 threes a game. And makes like 7 of them. I mean, it's
ridiculous. He's unbelievable. I don't think we're ever going to see a shooter like him. Like there's no way that you can replicate this type of volume and efficiency while being the focal point of the offense. Like Duncan Robinson the last couple of years, he's been able to put up the volume and like somewhat replicate the efficiency. Like he's putting up 10, 11 threes a game and he's shooting 40, 42%. Like that's the volume and the efficiency, but he's not the number one guy on that offense.
Exactly.
Guys like Joe Harris aren't the number one guy on the offense. Like they're great shooters, but to be like know that he's gonna do that and still not be able to stop it, like you're not gonna see that ever again.
Yeah, like Duncan Robinson and Kyle Korver, like the spot up shooters, like they're the ones that are getting like playmake too. Like Curry is creating his own stuff, which is what just makes him amazing. And I mean, it's kind of a big debate right now. Like the top 3 players right now, I think are Curry, KD, and Jokic. And I don't think that's an argument. And I think we both think that Jokic is the best player in the world.
Yeah.
if you want to talk more about
Yeah,
that.
I think like we just talked about how good Steph is, and he has been great, but it almost seems impossible that Jokic has been better, and he has, and he's ridiculous. I mean, he is playing better than he was last season, and he won MVP last season. That is ridiculous. You don't ever see this type of improvement immediately after.
I mean, it's
Like
year after year.
he is so good. I hope that the city of Denver can appreciate him the way that Nuggets fans do. Like I hope he gets embraced like John Elway and Von Miller and Peyton Manning got when he was here. Like he is that level of good, and
Yeah.
only Nuggets fans realize that. But he's insane. Like he's an elite scorer at all three levels, and people don't really like notice that about him. Like he's the best post player in the league. He has like one of the best mid-range percentages in the league. He shoots 60% from mid-range, which is ridiculous, for anyone, let alone a big man. And he shoots 40% from three on like 5 attempts a game.
Yeah, let me actually bring it up. I wanted to bring this up. Like we're hearing all about this Kevin Durant efficiency and everything, which is rightfully so. Even though he had a bad game today, I think he shot like 6 for 19. But like we're not talking about how crazy efficient Jokic is shooting the ball. I mean, from 3 to 10 feet out, he's shooting 60%. From 10 to 16, he's shooting 55%, and from 16 to the 3-point line, he's shooting 60%, and 3-point 38%. And Durant's putting up like basically the same amount, basically the same.
Yeah.
Whatever shooting percentages.
And people focus more on Durant because he's much more of a guy who his scoring just looks so much smoother. And I mean, even like as Jokic guys, like we can't even like argue with, like he is the most smooth player in the league, but I think Jokic is starting to become the most dominant and the most unstoppable. There's no defense that you can put around him to make it work. Like when you look at other guys like Curry and Giannis and KD, there's ways that you can stop them, right? Like Giannis, there's a thing that the Miami Heat did. There's the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. You can draw a lot of offensive fouls on Giannis because he just barrels through, and it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of the time, it's going to work if you have a wall to build around him. KD, if you are pressuring him a lot,
which is what the Warriors did.
You
getting out on him.
If you double team him, get the ball out of his hands, it will work. Steph is the same thing. If you can just get the ball out of his hands, it's fine. Anthony Davis,
if you double team, he's done. That's exactly what who did they play? That's exactly what the Bulls did the entire first half. They double teamed AD. They're like, we're gonna make you pass the ball. And I think he shot like 2 field goal attempts.
Yeah, he shot. I think he shot 1 shot in the first half.
Yeah, 1 shot exactly. Yeah. You can't double team Jokic.
No, he wants you to double team.
Yeah.
There's no other player in the league. It's like if I post up, I don't want to score. When I'm dribbling down and I have a mismatch, I don't want to score. I want you to come double me so I can pass it for an open look. Mm-hmm. Because it's insane. I mean, like I said, he's an elite scorer at all 3 levels. That doesn't get talked about much. He is one of the best scorers in the league. A lot of people, his passing is what people focus on, but it is time to focus on his scoring because he's elite at it. He's been a top 2 rebounder in the NBA this season. He's improved his rebounding from last year to this year by 4 rebounds. That's insane.
Wild.
The only guy he's below is Rudy Gobert, who is probably the best rebounder in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's below by like a rebound or half a rebound or something. He's a top 5 passer in the NBA at worst. I think he's the best passer in the NBA, but there's arguments that can be made for other guys, which is totally fair. Mm-hmm. And with his improvements on the defensive end this season,
he's a top 10 defender. I know.
He has the second best defensive rating among centers, again behind Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
And he's been a top 10 defender in the NBA this season with how well he's played. Like there's nothing that you can criticize about him anymore. Absolutely nothing.
He's completely improved his pick and roll defense. That was the big weakness for him. Mm-hmm. in his first few years. He's completely improved that. His rim protection, even though he doesn't jump, is just wild. Like
he contests
his hands, everything is just
everything.
I mean, he's just like it's like he's playing with like little kids. Out there, how he just
it's ridiculous. I mean, he has finesse, like he has incredible touch around the rim. You can't bother him at all. You cannot speed him up. He's never gonna get frustrated when he's playing because you just cannot. You can't bother him at all unless you physically move him like Marquise Morris did. But like unless you physically beat him up, you cannot do anything about it. You can't. Yeah. You can't. And his playoff performances have been. I think he's been one of the best playoff performers in the league the last 3 seasons that Denver has been in the postseason. I mean, they're ridiculous. In his first playoff season in 2018-19, I'm pretty sure he averaged 28, 13, and 9 or something ridiculous like that on almost 50, 40, 90. And then when Jamal Murray was going off, he still had an incredible playoff run. He was averaging almost 24, 25 a game. Then last season, without 3 starters, basically, he put up once again ridiculous average. I'm pretty sure he averaged over 30 a game in the postseason, if I'm not mistaken. Like he is ridiculous. And now Denver, once again, they just have so many injuries piling up. Mike Porter Jr., Will Barton, Jamal Murray. Bones Highland was hurt in their last game. Zeke Naji got hurt. They had like 5 players. Monte Morris has been dealing with a knee injury like the whole season. They're still winning and they're still competing with good teams because of just he's an elite of a floor raiser. He's ridiculous. I
mean, like we got Austin Rivers starting. Just like think about it. Austin Rivers starting, and they're 9-5 right now.
Austin Rivers and Facu Campazzo started a playoff series and they won. And they won. Just think about that.
And that was with Aaron Gordon having a broken shot too.
Yeah.
He's improved this year.
It's ridiculous. He is.
I mean,
I think a lot of people are starting to realize how good he is. I've seen a lot more people say that he's either best or top 3, but like he should be consensus.
It continues like every year. It was like 2018 probably. It's like people accepted, oh, he's better than Cat. 2019 people accept, and like Nuggets fans are ahead of the curve on that. Like we knew he's better than Cat probably like his whole career.
It started with Porzingis. Like it even goes back to Porzingis.
It started with Porzingis. Yeah. I remember what he had 40 in MSG. Yeah. And then we're always ahead of the curve, obviously, because we actually watch him than all the other NBA fans. So it was Cat, and then it started to become like I'm trying to remember like AD. Like we were saying Jokic was better than AD in like 2019 probably.
Yeah.
And now that's consensus. And then we were saying he's better than Embiid last year, and now that's consensus. And James Harden last year, and that's consensus, and Damian Lillard. And now he's creeping up he's past Giannis.
I think he's past Giannis.
And now he's creeping up.
Giannis had a ridiculous playoff run and finals run, but
yeah.
It's different. Like Jokic he's just different. Like
he's past LeBron, obviously, and now he's creeping up into the KD Curry, and he's probably past them. And people are gonna say that he passed them in probably a year, and he's probably gonna be the best NBA player.
Yeah. Then they were having a discussion on NBA TV in the game last night. And they were saying like, oh, who would you rather have, Luka or Jokic?
Yeah, it was. I saw the question like, who do you think's gonna win more MVPs, Jokic or Luka? And people are still picking Luka. Like,
I love Luka. I think he's also a generational talent. But I mean, Jokic is. You give Jokic this Dallas roster.
Oh man,
they're gonna be better than what they are. I guarantee you that. You give Jokic, Jalen Brunson, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Off the bench, they're gonna be better. I don't know.
Where's Maxi Kleber at?
I think he's in COVID.
He's probably. Oh, okay. I mean, you give Jokic Maxi Kleber, like.
Dude, he's just so good. It's like I'm running out of words.
It's almost indescribable. Yeah.
You just have to watch because he'll make passes you've never seen from angles you've never seen. He'll make scoring look ridiculously easy. He had 35, 16, and 7 last night, and it felt like he wasn't even trying until the fourth quarter. And I mean, there's nothing that you can say that he's bad at.
I mean, anytime he just rises up from the mid range, especially it seems like from the corner, like he'll just get it.
Oh yeah,
he'll like do a little, and then he'll just rise up. It's like it's a bucket every time.
yeah.
You just know what's going.
He doesn't
on.
miss. He doesn't miss. And that like that Sombor shuffle that he's done, that's kind of been like inefficient lately.
Yeah,
because people are expecting it.
But
now he's using that to his advantage now.
Mm-hmm.
People are expecting it, so he has like 3 different counters to it. He's ridiculous. He's insane.
I mean, when he backs you down in the post, it seems like it's a different move like every single time. Yeah. When he backs you down in the post.
Yeah. He can do a post fade. He has a hook with either hand. He can turn left shoulder. He can turn right shoulder. He's got a drop step. He can reverse. He can finish with either hand. Like
he's just so smart
so smart.
It's wild.
He just thinks the game at a completely. He's like 4 steps ahead of everybody else on the court. There's so many plays. And as Nuggets fans, I think a lot of us are trying to catch onto it. He'll be pointing to people as the play is happening, like, hey, you stay here, you stay here, you stay here. You cut now when I pass him this, and you'll get open and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He
loves putting Aaron Gordon in the dunk spot too.
Yeah.
When he points all this stuff out. He's like, Aaron Gordon, you go right here. I'll get it and I'll throw a lob to you. Like, and it's gonna happen. God.
Once Denver gets healthy, we're gonna run through teams.
It's such a blessing we have him. Like,
dude,
like Chiefs fans got Mahomes, we got Jokic. I mean,
he's
thank God.
Like Kristaps Porzingis, his nickname is the Unicorn. It should be Jokic should be the Unicorn. Jokic is he's a one of a kind. Like people like I guess his only comparison in the history of the league are Arvydas Sabonis and Marc Gasol. That is it, and he's already better than those guys have been in their entire career.
He's got like Marc Gasol depoy defense.
Yeah, now he does. Now. Yeah, and I wanted the Nuggets to sign Marc Gasol for this specific reason. I was like, hey, he's gonna be a free agent. Lakers aren't gonna get him back. Just sign him. I don't even care if he plays, just so he can teach Jokic how to play defense while not being athletically gifted. But he figured it out on his own. Whoever his trainer is, by the way, is a freaking genius.
Does he even have one? Or
I don't know. Him? I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. But like whoever his trainer is has got to be like the smartest dude alive because he has made every single adjustment proper. And if it's just Jokic, then I'd be like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just insane.
I mean, every year it's like the beginning of his career, it's like, oh, he's got to improve his weight and stuff. Okay, he got skinny. He's got to improve his 3-point shot. Okay, he thought he shot 40% from 3. He's got to improve his defense. Okay, he improved his defense. It's like, and now I don't know what he can improve on. Like there was always something he could improve on the past 5 years.
The only thing that I can think of is like it's his foul drawing ability, I guess. But that's not even something he can control because as a big man, he just gets assaulted anyway, and they're just not going to call fouls. And that's like a thing with big men across the league, like just with the exception to Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid for some reason. But like if he can just get foul calls, he's going to average 30 a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like easy. He's not going to break a sweat.
The only thing he's had to improve on this year is his free throw shooting. He's shooting 74% from the line.
And that's he's like an 85% or normal, which is really weird. I don't know why he's shooting so bad. The Nuggets in general have been shooting really bad, except Aaron Gordon, which makes no sense.
Dude, there's not a single reliable free throw shooter on this team right now.
No.
Not one.
It's Jamal, and that's it. We could we just leave Jamal active just so like for technical free throws, just bring him out and he'll shoot and just take him out immediately after. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited for when he comes back, man. He is also very, very underrated.
Dude, I was looking at Murray's stats last year. I really didn't realize how well he played. I mean, he was 47, 40, 87. I mean, like almost 50, 40, 90 on 21 points a game.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize he shot 40% from 3 last year.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that all Nuggets fans like clamoring for him to do was, just please get consistent from 3. Please get consistent from 3. And he did. Like, that's the one thing that he had to do, and he did. And we saw it It actually started before the bubble. Like he sprained his ankle in 2019, 2020. And then in and then when he came back from that injury, he started shooting like 6 to 8 threes a game.
Yeah.
And it completely changed. He was averaging like 25 a game up until from the injury to when the bubble started.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the bubble, he just went off. And they continued it next. Like he raised this team's ceiling so much. And him and Jokic together, as long as we have those two, we're gonna be title contenders. Like I have no doubts about it.
Mm-hmm. And that'll move Monte Morris to the bench, and it'll just make that unit much better too.
Life easier for so many people.
Yeah. All right. I guess we could stop going crazy about Jokic. Another couple teams that have kind of surprised. I know the Bulls surprised you. I think I had them as a top 4.
You had them a little. I had them at like 7 or 8.
Yeah, but still surprised to me.
Yes.
And the Cavs have been amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavs defense is crazy. Evan Mobley,
he's insane. I think he's going to be right Anthony Davis. Like he just everything he does reminds me of Anthony Davis. He has a really good jump shot for his size. He's an incredible shot blocker and shot deterrent right now. He can move his feet incredibly well. He's smart. He's got good touch. Like he's Anthony Davis.
Without the annoying falling and softness and everything that comes with AD. But yeah, the Bulls, they look so good. DeMar DeRozan is, insanely efficient right now from the mid-range. Zach LaVine is playing out of his mind. Lonzo Ball is shooting out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's really a sharpshooter now.
Yeah,
like,
you can't leave him from 3. Yeah. 7 attempts. That's insane. That's ridiculous.
Alex Caruso is an amazing glue guy for them. And this is with Vucevic playing really bad to start out the year, and he's missed the last few games.
Yeah. And they're not going to have Patrick Williams for the rest of the season either because he got wrist or shoulder. He had surgery on something. He's going to be out the whole season.
Mm-hmm. But Javonte Green has stepped up pretty nicely.
He's played really, really good for him. Yeah. Just in general, that team is really good. Very, very good. And then another team that I didn't put on this list that we have, the Wizards.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they have 1 star and a bunch of just like really good role players, and Wes Unseld has them just incredible. Like I think everyone knew that Kyle Kuzma was like a good player, but I think LA just kind of got to his head a little bit, and he started to become someone who he's not. But now he's back to who he is. He's been a really good rebounder. He's been a good defender. He's shooting great. KCP has been really good for them. Spencer Dinwiddie's been great with Bradley Beal kind of struggling. Montrezl Harrell has been their best player, which is really weird. They don't even have Rui Hachimura or Daniel Gafford yet.
Yeah. Danny Avdija has been playing amazing defense.
I was just gonna say his defense is. I didn't know he had that. Like, Wes Unseld is coach of the year by a freaking mile right now.
That's a fun team. It's a bunch of like castaways players like Dinwiddie. People almost gave up on him because of the injuries. The Nets certainly gave up on him. Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, KCP for Russell Westbrook. Everyone wasn't really thinking about them. It was like, like the future with the picks and stuff that they got too. And they've all been playing really well. And it's a fun team. We'll see if they can keep it up. I don't know. They might. I feel like they could be a fringe playoff team at the end of the year, maybe like 6, 7.
I think if they can just play that like 3/4 of what they're doing right now, they're going to be a play-in team easily. Yeah, because the East is still really good this season, but just in general, like those 3 teams have been huge surprises to me. I didn't expect them to be. I didn't expect them to be this good, like at all.
Yeah, and then I guess is there anything else you want to talk about in the NBA?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
I'm trying to think too.
Let me just look at NBA teams real quick and try and figure it out. I guess I should talk about this. The Suns have been really good. They started off slow, but they've been really good lately.
Their schedule has been incredibly.
It's been really easy.
I think it's the easiest schedule in the league, but still, it's like people say that, but it's like, what do you want them to do? Just like not win?
Exactly. Uh,
And they're winning by pretty good margins too.
yeah, and the rookies this season in the NBA have been really good. It is a really good class. Like Scotty Barnes has been really good. We talked about Evan Mobley. Franz Wagner for the Magic has been
Mm-hmm.
incredible. Bones Highland, I think he's been a top 5 rookie this season, which is crazy considering he was picked at 26. Um,
Ayo Dosunmu has been
Ayo
playing
Dosunmu has been really
pretty
good.
well
Chris
too.
Duarte has been really nice. Like, there's a lot of really, really solid rookies. And that's not even mentioning Jalen Green and Kate Cunningham who have started to put it together.
Yeah. Kay Cunningham, what do you have? Like 27, 8 and 8 or
Yeah,
something
he was really,
last night?
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to say this: the Kings should just fire Luke Walton already.
Oh, I know.
I,
It's ridiculous.
he is not a good coach, um, and yeah, just get rid of him because he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. NBA wise, that's it.
I think the Bucks are kind of concerning right now.
They have a
I
lot of
know
injuries.
I know,
Yeah,
but it's like the Nuggets have two, the Warriors have two, and they've been winning, and Giannis is not. And it's
yeah. And
that's
it,
why I
like,
think Giannis is like has been passed by
yeah,
Jokic and a couple other players. Like it was,
he's also missing 3 starters, like to the caliber of MPJ, Murray, and Barton. Like DiVincenzo is the Bucks Barton, I think, and Brook Lopez is their MPJ, I guess. But Middleton is his Jamal Murray.
yeah,
Jokic has been able to win playoff series without him. He's been able to win a lot of games without Murray, and Giannis has been struggling. But I mean, when you're playing Semi Ojeleye and Thanasis like 25 minutes a game, I'm not sure how much else you can do.
that's definitely fair. Yeah, that's fair. All right, yeah. If we want to get more in the NFL now,
Yeah.
um, I guess you kind of have this down. If you want to talk about the Rams
Yeah,
right
they
now.
have been concerning me. Last 2 games, I thought maybe against the Titans, just a fluke. But the fact that they played so bad against the Niners, who I genuinely just do not think are a good team, I think that this is obviously their best performance of the season against the Rams, but um, I think it's just that was just because the Niners have the Rams numbers. This is a 5th straight win they've had over Los Angeles with Kyle Shanahan. So I think it's just because they have the Rams number. I don't think that because the Niners are good. Like they've gotten thoroughly outplayed the last 2 weeks by teams that they are 100% better than on paper. And I know the Titans are really good. I think the Titans are probably emerging as the best team in the AFC so far. I don't know if you agree, but that's just what
Yeah,
I've seen.
yeah.
But the Rams, like their defense has shown a lot of cracks, and mostly in the run game, which is really weird considering you have Aaron Donald and now Von Miller and Leonard Floyd, and you have a good linebacking core and good tackling secondary. They're just giving up big chunks in the run game, and their offense hasn't shown any juice the last 2 weeks. And now with losing Robert Woods for the season, like they have to find something fast because they're going to be in trouble if they can't.
I know it's wild. It's like there's no really good team right now. I feel like you can make an argument for like the Packers being the best team in the league or the Cowboys being the best team in the league, the Titans, the Cardinals, the like, but none of them are like on the level of like the Chiefs or the Buccaneers last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's crazy.
It's really odd.
Losing.
It's really, really odd.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Honestly, I like that there's a lot of competition because it makes for a much more interesting playoffs. But like, it's so weird that there's not a team that's kind of just like taking control of this season.
Yeah.
At this point, like last year, I think the Packers are kind of the consensus #1 team in the NFC, and I know that they lost in the championship game, but like the whole season they were the best team in the NFC, and it wasn't really close. And then it was obviously the Chiefs last year, like you said, but like this season, like I don't know,
I know. Everything's just seems so wide open still.
Yeah.
And like no one knows. It's 10 weeks through and no one knows what is going on.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, like more about that competition point. I remember hearing someone say that like, oh geez, the salary cap or something like in the 80s, there was no salary cap and you would know who's going to win. There would be like 5 teams every single year that you knew was going to win. Is the Cowboys, is the Steelers, Broncos I guess Broncos is more 90s, but yeah.
Yeah.
Steelers, Cowboys, and a few other teams. Um, and now it's just with the salary cap and with players moving all around every single year, you just never know with the NFL. And I think that makes it interesting and fun.
It does, and it's kind of like that every year. I mean, 2 years ago, the Titans came out of nowhere. They beat the Patriots in the wild card. They beat the Ravens in the divisional round. They were up big on the Chiefs in the championship game, and now they've been one of the better teams the last couple of seasons. Like the Browns last year came out of nowhere and were really good. The Cardinals this season have kind of surged ahead. So it is really weird. Like the NFL in general is much more wide open than I think any other league.
For sure.
And that's I think the best part about the league is that there's no consensus number one team. I think any season, because it's just one game and that's it. Other leagues have series, but like if you're better for those 60 minutes, you're gonna win, and I think that's such a great part about the league.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to the Rams, these past 2 games, Stafford has looked really horrendous. Really, like he was, I think, the MVP favorite, 2 weeks ago, and now he's definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I know you wrote, "Are they in trouble?" I'm trying to think. I don't know if they are completely in trouble just because of how stacked that roster is.
Yeah, the amount of they can't possibly not win at least one playoff game.
Yeah,
based on how much talent they have. Like I refuse to believe that they're going to lose first time they play.
Yeah, I need to look more into them before I have
yeah
my opinion. I really need to
but they just have
get on my nerd stuff and study the Rams this week.
They just have looked really bad.
Yeah,
and it's just concerning to me considering that their last 4 wins were against just terrible teams. Like let me hold on. Let me check who their last 4 wins I know were against really bad teams. So ESPN app is being horrible. Okay, their last 4 wins were against the Texans, Lions, Giants, and Seahawks.
With no Russell Wilson. Yeah,
that's bad. Those are 4 bad teams that you beat.
But it's to be fair to the thing with the NFL this year is the Bills lost to the Jags. The Chiefs lost to some bad teams. Everyone's lost to bad teams.
They have, yeah, but
yeah,
they haven't had a good win since they beat the Bucs.
Yeah,
in week 3. So
yeah.
I guess that's what I was trying to get at. Like they haven't had a good win in a long time.
They got blown out by the Cardinals.
Yeah,
that's definitely a good point. We'll see. I still feel they were my Super Bowl pick in the beginning of the year. I don't know. I have a lot of
I don't know who's coming out at the end
for some reason, but I have no idea. Yeah.
You could name any of the top 7 teams in either conference to be a Super Bowl matchup, and I would have no argument against it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be kind of weird if the Steelers and the Steelers and the Bucs showed up in the Super Bowl, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. For sure. It's just wild. And then I was going to talk about the Chiefs and the Raiders game on, what was that, Sunday night or was that Monday? It was Sunday night.
Sunday night, yeah.
Yeah, this was an interesting game because the Chiefs didn't play how they've played the past few years and didn't play how they played the past, this coming up on the season. Every single game this season. They played a boring brand of football, is what I think I'll call it. And Mahomes played boring as well. They're methodically going down the field. I think they had multiple 12, 13, 14 play drives to score in this Raiders game. And then
yeah, it wasn't like the complex super vertical offense that we're used to seeing from the Chiefs. It was very, very slow.
And I think that's what they finally had to do.
Yeah.
This entire year. It's teams have figured out, like we said, all the deep stuff that they had done the past few years. They finally figured out the Chiefs offense and kind of how Mahomes plays and everything.
Mhm.
And now that he's adjusted finally to accepting to playing boring, like he's always tried oh, I'm the best player, like I don't even care, I'm just throw it 60 yards on a line to
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill. But now he's like taking, I hate saying taking what's there, but he is. And he's just methodically going down the field. And I think if they continue to do that, it'll open more things up down the field as
Yeah.
they start bringing safeties and people down.
Yeah.
Um, and I think they can be dangerous. And but the thing with Mahomes is like I wrote this down on here. I think even though he had a tremendous statistical game, 406 yards, 5 touchdowns, he still doesn't look like the Patrick Mahomes of 2018, 2019, 2020. I don't think. I think he's gained weight that has really like not helped him. That and combined with I think a toe injury he
Yeah.
has made him slower, and you just don't see like I was watching highlights of him of 2019, 2020, like he throws like ropes down the middle of the field. Like 15, 20 yards down the middle of the field, and he'll just throw them so fast, like in a blink of an eye, the ball to get there. And that's just not what it's like this year. Like things are wobbling out of his hand, slow. Um, and yeah, he just doesn't seem right to me
No,
yet.
I agree, and we've kind of been like saying this like every single like he
Yeah.
just doesn't look not he looks fine, like he looks good, but he doesn't look like Mahomes. He looks like he's playing a different game,
Mm-hmm.
which is just it's not what we've been used to seeing the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, he was like completely ignoring his kind of first read, even though that was open.
Mhm.
He was ignoring that in the past few games, and he finally took it this game, and they scored 41 points. Um, yeah, but still, even though he's putting up these crazy stats and everything, I think something's still off. But it's really a testament to how great he is that he can completely just switch
Yeah.
into this different mode of like playing, taking what's there and playing kind of like Tom Brady has played his entire
Mhm.
career, really. So we'll see what happens there. I'm still not fully convinced that the Chiefs are back yet, even though their defense has been playing a lot better,
Yeah.
has been making a lot more
The
plays.
last 3 weeks they've been playing with, and they haven't played like electric
Yeah,
offenses.
yeah.
Like they played the Giants, then they played the Packers without Aaron Rodgers, and then now they play the Raiders. Like nothing spectacular, but
You can still see like
you can
they're
see
they're
it. Yeah,
covering better, they're making more plays. They had that punch out of Deshaun Jackson.
that was the funniest play. I don't know what he was doing.
I know.
That's so funny. That was just like the most Raiders play of all time.
Classic Raiders.
The Raiders are also kind of just doing what the Raiders do. Like I don't ever take them serious when they
I
start off
know.
well, because this is the last 3 seasons
Every
they start
year.
off 6-2 or better, and have just completely collapsed. Completely collapsed.
It's wild, and they're not making the playoffs this year.
No, I have no confidence.
They're gonna collapse.
Like I can like there's still hope that the Broncos are going to win the division. There's still hope that Chargers still have hope that they can win the division. I still think the Chiefs are going to win it. I have no hope. The Raiders could be leading the division by 2 games on week now 17, and I still wouldn't believe they're going to win it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not going to do it.
The other thing I was gonna say is I think just based on like what I've heard and what I've seen and everything, I think this year like a lot of defenses are playing a lot of cover two, and for whatever reason the QBs are really struggling with it. Josh Allen losing to the Jags, scoring 6 points was it? They played cover two. The Bucks been struggling with cover two. Tom Brady threw 2 picks against Washington. But and I know the Broncos played a lot of cover two man against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the Raiders played cover three this game, and it got picked apart. It's the Raiders. Like,
It's also because like you have to have a really good safety to play cover two, and even cover three. Like you have to have good safeties, and the Broncos have 2 of the best safeties in the NFL, and Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson. The Jags have 2 pretty good safeties, But like, I mean,
Yeah, but the Raiders,
the Raiders don't have good safeties.
yeah, they have the
Jonathan
rookie
Abram is not a good player.
and the rookie from TCU.
Yeah, Trayvon,
Like
or not
Mayrig,
Trayvon,
Morig.
Mooring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they just don't have good safeties. So why? Like Jonathan Abram, I'm pretty sure in coverage he gave up 200 yards.
He's horrible.
He's a hard hitter and he'll make highlight plays every once in a while, but like in terms of coverage and being a safety, he sucks. He's just horrendous.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think with cover 2, you can kind of like pass, like with all this deep stuff, like you can pass like one deep crosser off to another safety, and another crosser off to another safety. But with cover 3, like it leaves the kind of seams open,
Yeah,
and leaves the sidelines open, and yeah, for whatever reason, the Raiders did that. And we saw over the course of the game with Mahomes methodically going down the field in the first half. It led up to what he does, which is throw the ball down the field.
Bombs. Yeah,
to Darrell Williams and all that. I think Mahomes, like people complain about all the dropped picks, and it's like, oh my God, Mahomes gets so lucky with these catches, like the Darrell Williams catch or some of the Tyreek Hill catches. It's like, I think he's just smart enough to realize that defenders are simply not as good
not good at catching
as offensive players when it comes to the ball. So like, why are you blaming him for that?
Yeah, and also a lot of the interceptions he does throw get tipped, and they're not his fault. Like his receivers will drop it and it'll get tipped. So it offsets when you talk about that. But yeah, like I think that dropped interceptions, it also depends on context, but I don't think majority of the time you can't really blame on the quarterback for a dropped interception. Exactly. Like it's not his fault that they dropped it.
And it just varies like year to year. Like
yeah,
Winston 30 interceptions, that was pretty unlucky. But yeah, that's basically all I had to say about the Chiefs and Mahomes right now. I just sum it up, like I think Mahomes has gained a lot of weight, and I think that hasn't really, I mean, he hasn't gained a lot of weight. And it's mostly muscle, really. He's not like fat, but he's like thicker.
I think he definitely did it because in the Super Bowl he just got pummeled.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He got pummeled in the Super Bowl, so he was just like, you know what? Let me just put some more weight on, put some more muscle on, just so I can start taking these hits. He's not like Roethlisberger anymore, where like Roethlisberger is a statue and he can't move because he just gained so much weight and he's old. Like he's not that. It's because he tried to get better, but it's backfired a little bit.
Yeah. And yeah, he's just slower in the pocket, slower rolling out. Yeah. I mean, like I saw some of his plays like that some of his runs, he looks just so fast in 2019.
Yeah.
Somehow he just looks so fast, and you haven't really seen any of those runs this year. But yeah, I still think he's an amazing quarterback.
Yeah.
Moving on to, I guess, Cleveland and New England. A little bit. Odell Beckham was clearly not the problem, as we've been saying, at all. Baker just looked, like what he has been looking with Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
In this New England game. Yeah, I think like Baker, he's so interesting to me. How it's like you can see he has a powerful arm at times, but like I don't know, dude. He just doesn't like win these games. He just doesn't put up these crazy numbers and doesn't really score.
Yeah, and it's not a lack of weapons. I mean, he did have Odell. He's had Jarvis Landry his entire time in Cleveland. He got a first-round tight end, a really good tight end, David Njoku. He's got two of the best running backs in the league. He's got a phenomenal offensive line. Like the Browns are not mediocre due to lack of weaponry. It's because Baker has just been unable to get it to them. He's been inaccurate. He's been a statue in the pocket, and it's because he's hurt. Like even he said he's hurt. He has a fractured shoulder. So get healthy and then come back. I don't understand why. It's mostly football players in general. Like they will play with severe injuries and think that it's just, I'm tough. I can do this with a fractured shoulder, huh?
But it really doesn't help.
It's hurting the team. The team is worse because of it. Like they were showcasing on Monday night on the Manning cast, like Phillip Rivers, like he played in 2 playoff games without an ACL, like he had with a torn ACL,
Oh, I know.
like sit, like
That
sit
game.
out the game.
Yeah.
Like
That was
playoff games, I think are a little different. Like he played in the AFC Championship game with a torn ACL.
that's
Like
what I was gonna say.
that's a little different, but like
That was a classic Tom Brady bailout. LaDainian Tomlinson out for the game, and Philip Rivers a torn ACL.
it was a torn ACL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get into Brady, but yeah.
like just sit, take a rest.
I know.
Your team is gonna be worse if you play injured. Like I remember, like CJ McCollum in the bubble, he revealed like, oh yeah, I'm playing with a fractured
I
back.
remember that.
Like, dude,
fractured back.
that's not gonna help your team. You're gonna be worse player. Just take a seat, bro. It's so like it just makes me laugh. Like it just chill out. No one's gonna think less of you if you sit out because you have a fractured shoulder or your back is broken. Like just take a chill pill and get healthy.
Yeah. And then kind of on the New England side, I think they're playing extremely well right now. The defense is making a ton of plays. Mac Jones is just continuing to look amazing. The running game is picking up. Like everything is just clicking right now for New England. Yeah. And Jacoby Myers finally scored his first career touchdown.
Our Jacoby Myers watch can end. Yeah. Mercifully, he finally scored. It wasn't even from Mac Jones. I know it was in garbage time from Brian Hoyer, but you know what? We'll take it. It's like 134th career catch.
Did you see him like dive into the end zone? Like he wanted it so bad.
Happy. And the team was happy for him. I'm happy for him. Like he's the best receiver on that roster. He deserves a touchdown.
1 touchdown.
Just 2 passing touchdowns for Christ's sake. Like
I know. But yeah, New England I think is a playoff team.
Yeah.
And they are a sneaky like AFC championship. I wouldn't say Super Bowl contender, but I would say more AFC. I think they can win a game or 2 in the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. And we kind of called that at the beginning of the year too. Like New England, it's really just quarterback that's kind of a question mark, which hasn't been a question mark for 20 years. That's the only question mark because in terms of talent around that roster is really, really good. And that's unfortunate. It's also the question with the Broncos. We have chosen the wrong quarterback for 6 seasons. New England got the right quarterback and it's worked out perfect because their defense is still elite and they're working really well. Their offense has been really good. Mac Jones has improved every single week and he's played really good for him. So like Bill Belichick last year, I don't think counted for anything because it was a COVID year. And I think this season, having a full offseason, full offseason with your rookie quarterback, not having to sign Cam Newton in like July or whenever they did last year, like he has a full offseason to get to know him. And yeah, I mean, he looks like the perfect replacement for Brady, which just sucks, but yeah, good for them.
The only thing I would like what the Patriots can improve on, I think, is like they've been really, really scared to go for it on 4th downs. For some reason, it would be like 4th and 1, like on the team's 40, and they'll like punt it. It's like, why?
Yeah. I don't know why any team punts on 4th and 1, like past your own 40-yard line.
Yeah.
Like just go for it.
Bill Belichick has just been really scared to go for it for some reason.
I think it's because he has like a great defense and he has a rookie quarterback. But I think come playoff time, even come down the stretch to where, with how Buffalo's playing, like you're going to have a chance to compete for the division title. Yeah. If Buffalo continues to kind of dwindle. If you have a chance to compete for a division title, those kind of plays to keep the offense on the field and the defense off, like you got to take them.
It's just interesting to me how like I'll see a trick play out of New England like every other drive, but they won't go for it on 4th and 1. It's funny. Yeah. Then we're going to talk about the Cowboys too. I think the Cowboys are really, really legit. Still, like after that Broncos game, we both thought, and we both knew it was kind of a fluky Broncos win, even though it was 30-0. Like there were a lot of plays, like the Cowboys could have gone up 6-0 with field goals. and gotten that momentum, and then you don't know how the game shapes out from there. Dak missed 2 open touchdowns to CeeDee Lamb.
Amari Cooper had a drops
Yeah,
here and there. Dak missed it like wide open Cedric Wilson on a crossing route on a fourth down. Like it wasn't tipped. It was just a horrible throw.
Stuff like that.
They should have won. They should have beat Denver. And the way Denver played against Philly also shows that. But Cowboys are still good. They're still very, very good. Like Atlanta came into that game with a lot of momentum, and we kind of were like, this could be a sneaky good game, but
it wasn't.
It was not. Like they got slammed. But I don't know if they're the best team in the NFC because I still think it's Green Bay. But they're good. They're really, really good. If they can just get Zeke going a little more, I think they'd be a lot more dangerous. But I think they're still very good.
I still think their defense is a little bit of a question mark. I don't think it's Super Bowl caliber defense like the Packers are, which is why I also think the Packers are better than the Cowboys. But that defense makes a lot of plays.
Yeah.
Like it'll get the offense the ball. It'll allow a lot of yards. It'll allow some points. But it gets the defense the rock when it needs to. But yeah, that's the only thing is that defense is still kind of young and still has their weaknesses.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs had another interception.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see it.
Yeah, he had another interception. And like at this point now, it's not even like luck. Like he's putting himself in that position to make. I mean,
him and Xavier Howard are the best two, like ball player.
Yeah, ball hawks. Yeah,
ball hawks. Yeah.
Yeah, he like it's not like a few of his earlier interceptions were like, oh, it was like a tip and then he caught it, or like it was just right to him. But some of the other ones have been just really, really good plays that he's made. And he's just a very dynamic player. But their defense is very young. And we'll see how it looks in the playoffs. But I think it's good enough to win a playoff game.
Yeah, especially with that offense.
100%.
I mean, that offense can just willingly go down the field anytime they want.
Yeah.
With those weapons, CeeDee Lamb is turning into a monster. Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup didn't even play against the Broncos, too.
Yeah, he's been hurt for most of the year.
Yeah.
They get him back. I don't know if their tight end, like they have Dalton Schultz is good, but their backup Blake Darwin.
Oh, Jarwin.
Blake Jarwin, yeah. He's pretty good too. I mean, I know he's on IR. I don't know if he'll be back, but he's pretty good too.
And they got really two great running backs.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch of the running back is great. Yeah. That offense is really, really elite.
Yeah, they're a fun team. Team that's not fun is the Denver Broncos. That was a good transition.
Man, we suck, dude.
They're so fun. I'm glad I was on an airplane when this game was going on. I'm glad I didn't watch it, but I know what happened. I know what we need to improve on.
It's just like, how do you come off calling the best game that you have ever called as a head coach and then come into this game completely unprepared? Pat Shurmur wasn't there, and I wanted Pat Shurmur back. I've never in my entire life said those words until now. I don't think anyone has ever said those words. I missed Pat Shurmur, which is just like, it's like a nightmare, the fact that I have to say that. It was ridiculous. Like, there was nothing vertical. Any time it was a third down, it was just freaking 5 yards. No, let's just check it down to the running back, see if they can make a play. And, I mean, they're going to have a bye week. But, I mean, everyone knows they're not going to change anything.
I know, I don't.
What the problem with this coaching staff is. And I think it shows that there was absolutely no quarterback competition. If there was a quarterback competition, Drew Lock would be in after the bye week. He would have been in after the Broncos had lost 4 in a row. But the fact that they have stuck behind Teddy shows that it's like they're going to stick behind their guy no matter what.
Dude, oh my God. When Vic said, like I saw the press conference. Someone asked, like, will you take into consideration Drew Lock or anything? And Vic Fangio's like, no, Teddy's our guy. Like, just straight up, like, no. Like,
I don't understand.
I know, like, you got to put confidence in your QB like that, but it's like, man, like, Dude,
when
Drew Lock is
he
better than
hasn't
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy played really good against the Cowboys, but if you take the Cowboys game out, he hasn't had a good game since week 3.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a good game since week 3. He's stat padded against Raiders.
Yeah, he's
I guess the Steelers game, I guess you could say was okay, but I mean he was horrific until the fourth quarter.
The Giants game was the only other good one.
Yeah, the Giants, Jets, and Jaguars games are the only 3 good games that he's had. I'll give him a pass for the Ravens game because obviously he was hurt. The Steelers, terrible. Browns, terrible. Raiders, terrible. Washington, he wasn't good. And then
Philly, terrible.
And Philly, terrible. Like, and I don't want to make too big of a deal about him like not going for the tackle against Darius Slay. Like,
yeah,
the bigger deal should be the fact that Melvin Gordon once again fumbled in a big spot.
Dude, it's Mel. It's like
it's so frustrating.
Anytime we're in just like I mean, he did it against Washington too, and no one talked about that really. God damn, I still remember the Titans game from last year.
Yeah.
He should have won that.
And then he did it against Miami last year as well.
Yeah,
he fumbled against Miami on the goal line.
Crucial situation.
It's like he is, like I would say, he's a borderline elite running back if he just did not have these fumble issues.
Mm-hmm.
If the fumble issues didn't exist,
I like him. But...
He'd be great. Like I even tweeted out, like after he scored the touchdown, I was like, "Why do people hate Melvin Gordon? Like I don't understand. Like yeah, sure he has fumble problems, but like, you know, like it's not that big of a deal." And then, when he fumbled, I retweeted and I was like, you know what? Never mind, I get it.
Yeah.
Like it's in every big moment. And that should have been what was focused on more than the fact that Teddy not wanting to make a tackle.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it should be, talked about, and it's good that Teddy kind of took responsibility for it. But like, the bigger deal should be the fact that you're giving the ball to a guy who has fumble problems.
Mm-hmm.
Literally 2 games ago, fumbled with the game on the line. And this is the biggest possession of the game. Why are you giving the ball to him? Why are you not giving the ball to the guy who is more sure-handed? So the coaching staff just doesn't make any sense. The offense is...
Brandon McManus blocked 22-yard field goal.
Yeah, after that block, I was like, all right, we're not winning.
I was just following the game on my phone. Like as I was boarding the plane, I see like Brandon McManus blocked 22. I'm like, dude, like,
how do you get
of course
on a 22-yarder, less than an extra point, less than the original extra point?
Yeah, the
Broncos they had 4 goal-to-go opportunities in this game, 4, and they scored once.
I knew when Albert O went 65 yards or whatever, and he got tracked down and goal to go. I'm like, oh, we're not scoring a touchdown here. Like you needed to get in the end zone there because we are not scoring a touchdown when it's a goal to go situation.
Ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Like and
it's like that's even with two of the best jump ball receivers in the league.
Yeah. And you throw a fade to either Tim Patrick or Cortland Sutton is a touchdown.
And they did, but it was a bad throw by Teddy, even though Patrick came down with it. His foot was out of bounds because Teddy let him out of bounds. But
I don't. This is becoming a weekly conversation, and it's pissing me off. But like, I don't get why you don't give Drew Lock a chance. I know.
Jeez.
I don't understand. He has shown that he has at least talent. If you are George Payton, you have to take control and be like, yo, this team right now, the way they're playing, they're not a playoff team. I think Broncos fans recognize this is not a playoff team right now. So just give the kid a chance, man. Like
he will give the team a chance to win every week because of just his arm talent and the throws he can make, just ripping them down the field, dude. Like he can just sling that. So, I mean, the ball just pops out of his hand. Few.
I don't get it. I don't understand. It's just he played really good in preseason. He showed a lot of improvement with Pat Shermer the last 6 games of last season. You say you have 2 quarterbacks you can win with in the preseason. You said it all of this season. You said, if the situation comes, we're gonna, we'll give Drew a chance. And Drew said, I'm gonna be able to stay ready. There's been one situation where he's come in, and it's because Teddy had a concussion.
And I don't even care about that situation. That's just like he threw a pick, and people were mad at him for throwing a pick. It's like you're coming
with 30 seconds left in a game where he's just trying to get this stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is, like Teddy, if a play isn't there, he will either just check it down or he'll take a sack.
Yeah, or I'll just shell up. Yeah.
Drew will at least try to make something. And I can at least appreciate that more and at least understand that more than just taking a sack. Teddy, I saw this stat. He has the third most time in the NFL to throw, but he's taken the third most sacks, which means that he's simply just not making the plays when they're there. And
Dude, the offense, it's just so limited with Teddy. It's like I remember 2 deep balls this entire season. The one to Patrick against Dallas, and then Sutton caught one against Jacksonville, right?
yeah.
Yeah, those are the only 2 deep balls I can think of this season. And I can name 3 deep balls Drew Lock had against Carolina Panthers last year.
Yeah.
2 to KJ Hamler and another one to Jerry Jeudy. I mean, he could just extend the ball so much further down the field. It could just open so many things up. It'll maximize what Cortland Sutton is, which is a deep jump ball receiver. Same with Tim Patrick. And
it's just really frustrating. It's just so frustrating to see it happen week after week after week. And you know that you have somewhat of a solution.
Dude, like he's just sitting there. You just have a top, I keep saying top 5. I'll just say like top 7 quarterback arm.
Yeah.
Sitting on the bench. For what? Like.
And the thing that makes me even more angry is the fact that he looked really good with Rick Sangarello.
Oh, and then they fire him.
And then they fire him. Like, what was the point of that?
They went 4-1 in the last 5 games.
And then they fire the offensive coordinator who does it? Like, are you kidding me? It makes zero sense. This game was the first time the Broncos have scored 30 all season. Or against Dallas. So the first time they scored 30 all season. Denver had 30, 3 or 4 times with Locke alone?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Texas game, they had like 40.
Yeah, he's the most dynamic quarterback that they've had since like Jay Cutler, honestly. Tebow. He's the most dynamic quarterback that you've had since Tebow. I don't even think that's a stretch. You went Tebow, then you went to Manning, who, I mean, he's phenomenal. I think he's the best quarterback of all time, but he's not dynamic. He's just good. Like, he's just a great quarterback. He's not going to make plays that wow you. He's just going to dot you up consistently. And then you go from him to Simeon, who is game manager of game managers. You go from him to Case freaking Keenum, who's the same thing. Go from him to Joe Flacco, who's the same thing. And then you go from him to Teddy Bridgewater, who's the same thing.
Crybaby Paxton Lynch mixed in there too.
It's just like, you give him 18 games to start, and then you don't do anything else.
And the other just frustrating thing is, like, do we have to draft a quarterback next year?
Yeah.
Like, right now, yes, it probably does. But how do you know we got this guy rotting on the bench who clearly has as much talent, if not more, than any quarterback in this draft class?
Yeah. I only have confidence in maybe 2 quarterbacks in the draft class. So we've been kind of been talking about it. And, like, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. Why you don't just give him a chance? You know the offense is struggling. I'm not saying throw him out mid-game, but you have a bye week now.
Yeah, get him prepared.
2 full weeks to get him up to speed and get his timing back with Sutton and Patrick and Jeudy like it was last season.
It's like they still think. I know they still think that they're a playoff team, and that's why they're playing Teddy because he's.
To be fair, you have to have, like, you're 5-5. You have to have that type of confidence in your team. You have to. But at the same time, you have to look for areas to improve in. You cannot just be okay with mediocrity at the quarterback position. And I don't think either Vic Fangio or Teddy Bridgewater is going to be here at the end of the year if the Broncos don't make the playoffs. Like, it's not going to happen.
But you just don't know with Drew Lock.
It doesn't make any sense to not give him a chance.
Put him out there for the last 7 games and just see if he is a potential franchise guy or not.
Yeah.
Because if he plays super well, and you don't have to go QB, then you can look at other positions of need. Like,
you can finally look at a right tackle.
Yeah, and linebacker and, another corner. I know people don't like another corner, but you do need another corner with Fuller and those guys aging and everything. But yeah,
If
if you don't play Drew Lock, then you have to take a quarterback.
yeah,
You just have to.
and that
then,
really sucks. Because that means you're gonna have to trade up because we're not gonna be good enough to take Matt Corral.
and that means another rebuild. And it means
Yeah.
we're not going to be good for another 3 years. Unless the quarterback is just a generational, which none of these guys are, I don't think, except for Corral, maybe.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't even think he's generational. I just think he's consensus number one, which is I don't even necessarily mean that he's great. It just means that he's better than everyone else. But it's just so annoying.
Like I just get so like depressed and just mad at this team, dude. Vic Fangio will be fired, I think, after this year, which is nice. And then they're gonna like go and sign like Dan.
Oh, if they get Dan Quinn or like Dennis Allen or someone, I'm gonna freaking lose it, dude. I'm gonna be so angry if they get Dan Quinn, man. Oh my god. Just go.
Dude,
Jeff Bezos needs to buy the team.
Yeah, please.
And then
or like
Brian
Mark
Dabble a 10% share in Amazon and just get him over here. Like just do it.
Payne's gonna sign one of his Minnesota guys. Watch, like Gary Kubiak's son or whatever the hell he is.
Oh,
that calls plays over there. Like watch, he's gonna come over.
Or he's just gonna get Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer's gonna. What is Mike Zimmer's specialty? Isn't it defense? I don't know. Mike Zimmer's gonna be the defensive coordinator.
It is defense for like the third straight head coach. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
This is a recurring segment that we